Hello, I'm Richard Durr, Leisure Services Director for Seminole County, and thank you for joining us for this Rolling Hills Community Park project update. This is Chapter 1 of 4 in the presentation, and in this chapter, we'll present a brief project background for this exciting project. This quote by Emerson probably best summarizes the journey so far, which many residents and the county have experienced on this project. This was not a simple linear process that went from A to B, but required blazing new paths forward where none existed so many residents, partners, and community leaders could see this project realized. From the beginning, the counties worked with the local residents to create a community park distinct not just to Seminole County, but to all of Florida. The opportunities to transform this historic golf course property set within the Rolling Hills neighborhood into a community legacy for generations to come has been the project's vision all along. The journey began with the sudden closure of the Rolling Hills Golf Club in June of 2014. Shortly after, the county was approached by residents around the golf course with the goal of saving Rolling Hills. After informal discussion with the state and neighbors, a public health workshop was convened in April 2016 to discuss the concept of transforming the site into a passive community park. This idea was met with an overwhelmingly positive response from the neighbors. Now, the county had a partnership to construct Jetta Point Park with the Florida Communities Trust, or FCT, in a different part of the county, but this project had been shut down back in 2010. Once a way forward with the state was ironed out, the county then submitted a formal application to the state to consider the Rolling Hills site instead of Jetta Point. A few weeks later, on October 26, 2016, the Board of County Commissioners approved a contract to purchase the site, and the county entered into a due diligence period, including additional meetings with the state. In February 2017, the FCT board gave the county a conditional approval to continue with the process, but first, environmental analysis and testing had to be completed on the property. When contamination was found and documented on the site, the county had to create a plan to remediate the contamination and provide a commitment to fund and execute the plan. When it was estimated that the environmental cleanup would cost upwards of $1.5 million, the residents around Rolling Hills came forward and volunteered to tax themselves through the creation of a Municipal Services Benefit Unit, or MSBU, program to fund the cleanup required. A vote was held throughout the month of March 2018. On April 4th, 2018, the votes were tallied, and the residents overwhelmingly voted to approve the additional property tax. Then, on August 31st, 2018, Seminole County purchased the nearly 100 acres of the Rolling Hills site for approximately $4 million. The purchase included the commitment to fund the development of the passive park elements in partnership with the FCT grant requirements. From day one, the county began regular maintenance of the property, consistent with other county parks, and there was a lot of cleanup to be done. All of the existing structures which made up the golf course operation, the clubhouse areas, maintenance area, and the golf course itself all needed to be inspected for its condition and secured. In many cases, demolition was required in order to stabilize the site. At the same time, evaluation and analysis of the property in depth began by county staff, evaluating and documenting the opportunities and constraints that would need to be addressed to transform the site into a public park. Factors such as different adjacencies to private property needed to be documented. Inventory and health of the tree canopy was evaluated, and the location and condition of utilities were all researched and painstakingly documented. This work also led to cleanup around all of the site's ponds, with measures taken to improve water quality and wildlife habitat. The environmental remediation project began late in 2018, and by March of 2019, the soils cleanup required at 18 different locations throughout the property, as well as the active groundwater remediation needed at the former maintenance area site, had all been completed. During the summer of 2019, the old clubhouse was evaluated by engineers and architects, and it was determined that to reuse the old clubhouse building would cost very close to the cost of a new construction. So in late 2019, the existing building was razed and the area where it sat was refurbished and made safe. Now, during this time, work that had been done before the purchase to plan for the development of the property was all revised and refined. And by January of 2019, a more detailed conceptual plan was presented at a public meeting to the Board of County Commissioners. It was this plan that laid the foundation for the project that we're discussing today. That design inspiration and that vision is presented in Chapter 2. Thank you again for your interest and participation in this project.